Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Monday, October 9th. We're going to take a look at Lucid today. So Lucid is below all of the levels that we've had on the chart. It's just at lows. So we're going to throw in some additional levels here, and then we're going to talk about some of the indicators as well as the think or swim study. So first, let's put in some levels. So interestingly enough, if you see lows from a couple of trading days ago, as well as where it brushed up against those lows on Friday, that played a significant role today as well. So these levels are already starting to sort of interplay with each other. And a floor there that we'll put in for now, and then also today's topping out. If you see, the topping out here into close was the wick of this candle and the floor that was trying to be held here just above 5. So it's doing what it can at the moment to try to hold 5, but as I'm sure you know by now, it dipped well into the 4s today. So let's see. Let's say there's a level here. Yeah, this is quite something. Swing high here, floor there, okay. And we don't have a ton to go off of, but we have, at least very recent relevant price action. Now we did get a bit of a double bottom here, so I'll put that in for now. And that's what allowed it to get a little pushy motion going, a little pushy. So these are the levels as I see it at the moment. To the upside, 516, 512, 508, 504. And then near where we closed today, just under 5, so say 5, and 495, 490, and 487. Now, I figured we would hide these for now and just sort of say if we were flying blind today, so let's say we get into a realm in the coming days where we don't have any price action to go off of again. I've been watching the EMAs and they've been doing a pretty good job. So we would have been coming into open today trapped under this 8 EMA, and then every attempt at the 34 was getting shrugged off, and then there was a grand effort at open. This candle here up 2% alone, so 10-minute candles, and then very bottom heavy candle here, long top wick. And then it came down and tested. Hey folks, just so you know, you can get these videos early and ad-free. If you click on the description below and become a member, you can make that happen, and I really appreciate the support. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of the video. 34 is up here, and then the 21 and the 8 with the body of the candle. But keep in mind, even when it's making this motion, it is still in a bearish setup, meaning the longer EMA, the 34, is above the 21 and is above the 8. That's a bearish setup. And so even when it did this wild move, we didn't get crossovers here. We got the 8 and the 21 sort of laying on each other for a couple of candles, but it didn't cross over. And then when it unraveled to basically continue on its bearish way. Now we did get a bullish crossover here later in the day, and you see what it took to make that happen. It was trapped here under the 8, and it got support, made an attempt at the 21, pushed off, and then got support again, tried the 34, and made some headway. And that's where we got our first bullish crossover. Would have been here right around, high 497-ish, something like that. And you could have ridden that up until close, reaching about to 504 or so at the highs of the day. So the EMAs kind of showing nicely if you just pay attention to the formation that they're in and try not to rush in or predict the future and just wait for them to play out. You'll miss some of the move, meaning you didn't catch the 487 down here, but there was nothing indicating unless you picked up and kind of half got lucky with the double bottom here between this candle and this candle. But that could easily have gone against you as well. So just keep that in mind. So I just thought I'd point out EMAs give you something to watch if you are otherwise at a complete deficit because there's not a lot of previous price action to go off of, or maybe no previous price action to go off of. Now, if you have the think or swim study and something like that, we can see, here's where we can maybe pick the bottoms a little bit better. Still is a very, very risky trade though, keep in mind. So in the sense that whenever price action leaves the channel to the upside or the downside, we look for it to come back and test the mid-range of the channel, that bright blue line in the center. And it did that here. It came out and it was sort of very securely below the channel. Now it could continue to go. It doesn't have to immediately draw itself back into the channel just because it's outside of it. But when you see it start to make a motion in, that could be an indication that it's going to come and test the mid-range of the channel. Now what it's going to do when it gets there is the other question. But we did see that sort of play out here. So, if you did catch this motion here, and this was the low on this candle, that could have given you an opportunity to come in. Now this would have looked quite pessimistic as it peeled back out here. But then another strong motion into the channel, tested the mid-range, initially shrugged it off, which is what you would expect because it's in a downtrend, obviously. But then it only needed to catch this mid to low bound of the channel. It didn't need to come all the way back down to the lower bound of the channel here. So that's indicating maybe there are some bulls showing up. And then we got the TTM squeeze indicator starting to fire or starting to trigger as the bearish momentum was dying down on the histogram. And all of that while it's sort of at the mid-range here of the channel. And so that's set up for a nice little push into the end of the day. So, again, there's something to maybe sort of watch if you're just completely at a loss. Now on the hour here, just to sort of get our bearings, on the hour, it's just starting to press against the mid-range of that channel. So it's just starting to do that thing where we say, let's really pay attention to what it's going to do here. It was triggering back here. And when it fired, it did some. It's not really like an insane move. It's not like this crazy move here, but, it did get a decent push down. So, maybe a so-so call out by the TTM squeeze indicator there. But, the interesting thing here is die down on the bearish momentum. Doesn't even quite get to the baseline on the histogram and then just starts to ramp up bearish momentum again. So right now, showing that it's sort of mildly reducing its bearish momentum here. So we'll see how that plays out, especially with it now being in contact with the mid-range of that channel. What's it going to do there? That's always the critical moment in my mind. Now on the daily here, we take a look, obviously just stuck in a pretty vicious downtrend. Still tried to hug the mid-range here of the channel. This is when it was triggering, pretty long trigger here, and then when it fired, it really just lost it, right? And has brief trigger here and then a fire and has continued to lose it. Hasn't been able to get any motion over the mid-range of the channel since like the beginning-ish of August. So that means all of the rest of August. So the second half of August plus all of September plus now the first third or so of October. And that whole time it's been trapped below the mid-range of this channel. Just shoving off of it every time it tries. And those tries are coming at lower and lower price points. So the question becomes, what's the right price point at which Lucid can, if not just pin itself to the channel and try to buy itself some time, but potentially get some action over it and maybe a little bit of an attempt to build a base or recover or something along those lines. Right now, it's just far away from it. It even stretched out below the bottom of the channel today. So it's trapped below the red cloud. It's battling with the lower bound of the channel. Not really, within the last few days, able to make any run toward the mid-range of that channel at all. So if I'm looking for anything that resembles a basing or a reversal or anything along those lines, it has some work to do before it has me sort of feeling good about any of those types of things. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week got off to a good start today. And as always, I appreciate you watching and I will see you in the next video.